Kino is also in the session. I am just finding my stream on YouTube so I can share it around, share it to the two guys so they know I'm good to go. Rhandoss, mate, you can go into the playlist whenever you want. I'll message you that now. So Kino 2 is just let me know what his tracks are, so then we can work out from that whose tracks are who. There we go, just doing this now. Click to my channel. Should nicely be up. We have somebody already watching, 2 of you, thank you very much. Let me share this and then I'll be actually in my chat. Have a let Rhandoss know you can go in. I'll thank Kino in 1 second for letting me know his tracks, and like I say, can then work out whose tracks are whose from there. That symbol, right, this there, that there. Just scheme. System. Copy and paste. Whew. Right, I'm really excited for this one. Rhandoss is just having a smoke, I believe. Oh, he's in, he's back. Launching into the playlist for us. And we will be into the action quite shortly. I am just sharing stream around just while the boys load in. Rhandoss tonight is the host. There's that there, and I've got one more chat. Where's my pros? Here. And then share it to the guys so they know I am fully ready for them. Now, peer race is first. This is Kino's. Kino's tracks are peer race, trench, 2, wall climb, gauntlet. It is on random. From here, we will be able to see whose tracks are whose. I'm gonna roll the smoke while they start up. I am fully ready to go while a little warning that connection has been bad. And here we go. I will send them both a party invite again as I did the other night. I know Rhandoss did join for a little while. Have both made it into the session so they can join if they choose to. They are ready to go. Right, and also just offering good luck across to Kino, and I'm sure it is being reciprocated by Kino to Rhandoss. I am now in the chat. Hello Gaming, hello Ninau and Tuncer, my guy. I hope you are all very well. And we are looking to get in to Pier Race. The race is launching. They'll be lining up on the grid momentarily. Not too long after this, we will have Jack v Spartacus for the final part of their match. We'll get to see who come out on top from both of these. Actually, now Rhandoss does have the slight advantage from yesterday. 5-3 lead heading into this playlist. We are with Rhandoss. Kino has pulled away nicely. Kino is the 1 lap world record holder here. 150. Not sure of the exact point, but good, strong time. Both landing on the boost, nice and clean. Let me back the camera up slightly, get rid of the filter for a minute. Swap on to Kino while we see Rhandoss pulling slight lead through that first section of the track. Kino aggressive on the curves, can shorten distance, nice entry from both into the tube. Rhandoss again, just cranking the pressure up. Fine, good exit as well. On top, Kino carried a little bit more speed and was able, it looked like, close up the gap slightly. A little bit of lagging on Kino's part. Has mentioned the connection not great, but it does look nice and clean. Really, in general, just slight hang up in the loop, as we can sometimes do. And that's it. Appears to have ever so slightly extended his lead, punting the football down the track. Kino having to avoid it, hoping it doesn't disrupt the momentum of his car. Again, in case I missed any of you while you popped off, hello to yourself, Gaming, Ninau and Comfort. I do hope you are all well, and then everybody just having a little watch. We are here with Rhandoss v Kino. Rhandoss does have 5-3 lead and also holds the lead heading through finish line of the first lap of the first race. The time 1:52.547 to 1:53.1776, just over 0.6 between the two. Across the line, Rhandoss pulls to the left, cutting the corner of the boost nicely as he pulls across the curve. Having to just be slightly careful that he does not collide with the barrier, but handled it really clean. Kino has closed the gap up. Rhandoss nice and smooth again, clipping the curves where he wants to, not having to change the direction of the car too much. Hello to the new guys coming in. Oh, Kino straightens the car up really nicely, nice low exit. Rhandoss carries a lot of speed through the exit and able to hold the lead. Kino does seem to have shortened the gap through the loop and the loop skip. Really clean on the brakes by Rhandoss ahead, but Kino a slightly tighter line through the corner, gaining again but better speed through the exit from Rhandoss. Really nice and tidy from both. Slightly different lines. I believe Rhandoss did get straight boost down, straight the final one into the loop lights. Rhandoss clearly in again, or not again, but had. Oh, Kino's gone underneath. We are going to flick to Rhandoss, take the pressure off Kino, and let Kino settle into the drive. Does have a bit more work to do, but even with this potentially going Rhandoss's way, it's not going to be the end. It'll still be in the next 3 races. Rhandoss needs to win, confirm the victory. on 50.478 from Rhandoss on the second lap. Really nice. Bringing the lap time down by a couple of seconds and cranking the pressure up. And just a mistake from Kino, able to extend his lead significantly. But just nice, clean, crisp lines. Maybe playing a little bit safer with the barriers than he has been known to. Has made a little joke about the barriers being his best friend, personally to me. Hey Jack, I hope you're well, my man. And I will see you shortly for Spartacus, mate. Good luck to yourself for that. Offering good luck to the guy who's good sport, Jack is. And has joined me quite a few times on the commentary table while maintaining an exceptionally high level of racing. And I'm not going to try and copy. Hello, my man. We'll go with that as the pronunciation. It's not great. Copy. I don't want to butcher it any more than I have done already. Apologies if it sounds in any way offensive. Not meant to. I hope everybody is very well. Nice to see you all. Hey Alex, my dude, saying hello. Oh, Rhandoss crossing the line. We'll have a look at what that time is in a second. Plenty of time for Kino to cross the line. No danger of DNFing. And Alex offering good luck to both of tonight's competitors. Or the first of tonight's 4 competitors. The first 2, there's a better phrase, the 149.076 on the final lap from Kino and the 150.310 from Rhandoss, getting a good, slight improvement there, shortening it down to a 0.3. Kino did get the best lap, but Rhandoss has taken peer race away from Kino. And Rhandoss now up to 6 total score, but that is 1-0 for the playlist. We are on spinner. This is one of Rhandoss's choices. Rhandoss did win the first playlist 5-3. So Rhandoss now has a 6-3 lead heading in to the final 7 races. We've passed the halfway point. Rhandoss extending the lead slightly. Kino needs to win the majority of the races remaining to take the victory. Kino with all the work to do. Rhandoss a little bit of breathing space. Chance just to relax a touch, but as we saw with Escape, you relax just a touch too much, it can crank the pressure up towards the end of the playlist. If he's still looking to confirm that win, was able to get his composure. Kino with a very strong start is pulling away from Rhandoss here. We are going to sit with Rhandoss while we can't see Kino. Rhandoss does appear to close the gap. Good. Maybe it was just a car squirrel because he didn't see the car pull away as we would expect. Good clean line from Rhandoss, just being shorten the gap a little bit more, but the boost line from Kino allowed him to hold pace nicely, and Rhandoss pulling alongside Kino, catching a couple more curves, allowed him to pull into the lead just on the entrance to the tube. Really nice stuff. Good line though from Kino. Let's see Kino pull back into the lead just as he flipped between the two, holding it with a good aggressive clip of curve, and again just matching the pace of the car behind him. Rhandoss applying the power really nicely through the corner. Good feathering of the throttle allowed him to retake the lead. over the hood for a moment. Brake boosting before the corner by Rhandoss off the curbs. Nice and aggressive, goes with a lovely line onto the platform. Kino's slightly more aggressive. Kino tried to cut as much time into the tube as possible, shortening his time in the air wonderfully well. That was a lovely cut there by Kino, making the absolute most of the time differential he could on the difference in line. Really nice brake boosting along the straight from Rhandoss, shortening the damage and stopping Kino to pull away too much more through this last portion of the track. Kino has held and sustained and maybe extended the lead ever so slightly through the tube. Rhandoss, as we did see, good application of power through the corners, seeing him well. Both take that drifting to the right approach. Rhandoss definitely spent a shorter time in the air and hit the ramp higher up. And if that's the way the final lap finishes, that is going to be close. We see the 2:33.133 from Rhandoss to the 2:33.088 from Kino, sorry. Got a 0.88, exceptionally tight between the two. Just under 5 tenths. Let's get rid of that hood again and make this as durable as possible. Kino does swing into the lead, but Rhandoss again nice and aggressive across the curves, matching the pace with Kino, going higher on the entry, then slightly higher on that mid-point of the tube and higher there too, trying to catch as much boost as possible, and has swung back into the lead. This is a right ding-dong battle up to this point, and I do hope it continues. You know, catching a little bit of curb at the anti-apex, causing the car to slide out ever so slightly, but the little curb boosting effect maybe limiting the damage caused by the little slide. Nice and smooth over the jump, both drifting to the right, trying to maximise their speed through the corner nicely. Pulls to the left, Kino again, ever so slightly hitting the track before pulling down the track, slightly short, going really aggressive this time, trying to shorten the air time to its absolute maximum, and has retaken the lead again into this tube. And we did see Kino with the good line through this tube as well, did pull away ever so slightly more, but it looks like Rhandoss held speed towards the end, catching a good boost line nicely, good brake boosting again just before the drop down. Really nice and tidy, exceptionally close, and I'm expecting again, if you see similar cuts, this to be another close finish. The distance around the same between the two. It looks like Kino did manage to get a bit lower. Rhandoss just clips the top of the jump. That is going to shorten it. That was almost perfect. And oh, Rhandoss just caught up on the very, very first bit of the ramp. That does send the car into the abyss of the city below. And having experienced that myself many, many times, I know just how frustrated Rhandoss will feel, because it was looking like it was going to be a perfect cut, just catching on the edge lip of the downward slope, bucking the car up, and then he wasn't able to control and pull the car around sharply enough to get off the jump clean. Really unfortunate for Rhandoss, and I do feel heavily Kino able to drive nice and clean now, sticking to his lines nice and safe. Lap time we saw from guys, Kino improving to a 2:30.040, and with the mistake, a slight unluckiness, Rhandoss unable to improve. Now, I'm imagine, unless Kino on for a really good run, will wait up for his ride to catch it. Both good guys, both very respectful. They have agreed to be waiting on bricks and such like that if it's in an impactful moment of the race. I believe is the context to it. So if you have a swing into the lead because of it, or as they catch them, they can discuss it. Kino has got a strong lead at this point and is going to draw this playlist back to 1-all, taking it to 6-3. Unless there is any big mistakes on the jump up, we will stick to Kino until see whether he's made it up and over clean. And we will flip back to Rhandoss, see where he's at, and let Kino get a glimpse at the opposition should he be watching. Nice and tidy around the corner, a little heavy on the throttle, making sure he does make it through nice and clean. Kino barely missing the wall, pointing the car down nice and sharp, maximising the amount of time gained from the cut. Really nicely done by Kino, making it through the jump skip nice and clean, no big wobble, no chance of going off the edge. Rhandoss coming round to it now. Kino has feathered the throttle along the line, just waiting to see if Rhandoss here makes it. It's a little short. Unfortunate there by Rhandoss. Going for a really, really fine cut, trying to get the nose to brush over and then pull maybe down on the stick. Get the car up and over, going this time at full speed, giving us some really, really nice flair, going with a lovely backflip, and with the race being over, just taking the jump. Kino does take first. There won't be, I believe, any improvement. Big handbrake turn across the line. That does make it 1-all in this playlist. As I say, first playlist did go 5-3 to Rhandoss, so that does take it to 6-4. I believe I did just say 6-3, but that is 6-4. Kino bringing it back 2 races behind. Rhandoss maybe feeling maybe pushed a little bit too hard on the second cut and maybe could have played it just a little touch safer. But Rhandoss, guy that does like to push the extremes, very, very fast guy, and is now really beginning to show himself up in the true light that we all know him in. Like we saw the way he performed in the playlist last night, and we do all occasionally make slight errors, and at this point it is just dabbing the brakes. Like for that cut, if he'd have timed his brakes like not even half a second, a quarter of a second later, he'd have drifted up and over, and then he'd have likely not pushed so hard to try and get such a fine cut on the second lap. And we're into the third race. This is, I believe, Rhandoss's track, not in Kino's list. Did only ask Kino, so I can keep a certain element of surprise. Kino did initially hold the lead, but Rhandoss pulling in very strong with them brake boosts, has taken nice early lead, pulling away a little further, catching another brake boost over the curbs, and a last one up the hill, just giving him very good acceleration up the hill, allowing him to pull away ever so slightly more from Kino, maybe up to about a second lead, over a second lead by the look of things, just pulling away again down the straight, both going to the left, chasing the curbs. Kino just playing it nice and clean, chasing the curbs aggressively. But Rhandoss has pulled away a significant lead at the moment. We'll leave it until after the jump skip. At this point we'll be able to see both make it clean. We did say Rhandoss made a mistake yesterday, taking the cut nice and clean this time. Kino clips the ramp but catches the car after the second flip and barrel roll, really nice and clean. No significant damage to his time. It does appear Rhandoss missed a couple of the brake boosts down that bit of the straight, feathering the throttle nicely, making sure both make it under the bridge. Rhandoss clearly in sight. We are going to stick with Kino for now. The Rhandoss ahead maybe just extending again slightly as he clips a brake boost down the straight under the aqueduct. Really nice and clean. Tidy stuff from both. Rhandoss has pulled away again to about 2 seconds, I believe it is. 2 and a bit, I believe that is, not 100% sure, and that is true. Philip, thank you very much. That is Rhandoss that has the lead at the moment, and Rhandoss with the lead in this race. Philip, that is really appreciated. Thank you very much. Nice and clean round section of the track. Lag showing on our screen, and Kino is reeling Rhandoss in at the moment. Rhandoss maybe missing a few of the brake boosts and looking to really try and extend down the hill again, but Kino is closing and closing clean early across the curves without getting dampening effect off the curbs and maybe a missed brake boost. Rhandoss did manage to hold the lead through the air, but is the momentum, it is enough. Rhandoss getting a good clean landing, pulling away, but that is good and close. That is a good close race. That does take it 2-1 in this playlist and 7-4 to Rhandoss total score across the two playlists of 16 races. Rhandoss just holding on to taking a 3-race lead again, giving himself good strong position to come back, go on to. He does still need 2 race wins, so 248.6 for 3-3, I believe that is from Rhandoss, to 249.162 from Kino. Very, very nice lap times, very tight between the two at the end. A few missed brake boosts after the midpoint allowed Kino to really rein Rhandoss in. We are into Gauntlet. This is the second of Kino's tracks. We've seen Gauntlet and Pier Race, Trench 2 and Wall Climb to come. Kino did handle that flip very well, if that's the landing you're talking about. I think it is where the timing's at. I'll answer the rest. It is at the moment 7-4 to Rhandoss. Kino needs to win 5 of the next races. Rhandoss able to take 1 if Kino wants to take this win. If it ties, the way the matches are, we will have to have a bit of a penalty shootout. Both races will either pick a track or randomly assign one. I think it's a randomly assigned track, penalty shootout. We'll double check that with Esco at the end, should that be the case. I'll check it between the playlists. We do see Rhandoss has taken, held the lead through the first portion off the track with Kino, holding pace, really nice, good curb boosting there from Rhandoss, allowing him to extend ever so lightly, but a really smooth corner from Kino allows him to take a lot of speed through into the tube, swings into the lead, starts to pull away. Rhandoss onto a very thick, nice boost line, allowing him to shorten the damage loss there. Pulls into a nice clean exit, matching Kino note for note there, landing slightly before, allowing him to pick up the revs earlier through this section before the boost. It's shortening the gap just slightly between the two. nicely across the curves from both. One set of tyres across for the final climb, so the car doesn't act up too aggressively through the corner. Heavy barrier back, gaining an extra little boost from Rhandoss. High, the tube pulls down nice and sharp, and you see the boost it gets him initially, but Kino with the early approach to that thick boost line carried the speed nicely, extends the lead through that mid part of the tube. Rhandoss, it appeared to shorten it for that final bit. Good, clean exit from both. Kino's looked very good. Carried a lot of speed. Rhandoss is slightly straighter and truer, a little bit higher, but lands lower or higher up the ramp too. Carries more speed maybe across the jump and the lower portion of the ramp. But Kino has sustained and maybe again just pulled away ever so lightly through the cut. Good entrance into the tube from both. You see Kino has stuck nicely just ahead of Rhandoss, both clipping into the shadow and pulling down. Kino onto the track nice and early, and Rhandoss has shortened the gap significantly through that tube line. Really nice stuff. Good clean exit. We are going to see, I believe, and go for it. Oh, Kino sold Rhandoss on it and then pulled back onto the ramp. Rhandoss on his side. Kino's played a good game there. He had lined up for it initially, and it was tight as a tiger, or nice and tight like a tiger. And that has given Kino a strong lead. Well played on the mind games from Kino, selling Rhandoss on the ramp skip, then pulling out for it from it at the last second as we see it begin to rain. A bit of an unusual circumstance. We don't normally see this at the midpoint of a race. Hopefully it's just showing on my screen, but the track is getting damp. The guys are going to have to be a little bit more careful through the corners, and if this rain picks up, it will get slightly more treacherous. Really nice and clean. Oh, Kino getting a little bit hung up on the corner of the ramp, shortening his lead. After this exit, we will swap back to Rhandoss because I believe Kino will be in sight. See a good clean tube exit, nice and straight, no chance of drifting too far to left or right. Gets out of the tube nice and clean. Swing the camera back, we see Rhandoss has made it out as well. This is looking good. Handling the extra pressure from the rain, but that's a big brick on the ramp as Rhandoss did appear to be closing in. Now, I know the guys have got in mind the thing to sort the bricks out, the agreement, so if that is in any way in Rhandoss's mind, because it did appear he was gaining lightly on Kino after the mistake, but he may well need to get a replay. But again, I know that these guys are very fair with each other, so it's all down to them. They have the agreement in place themselves, and it's nothing to do with me, with it being out of my hands, with it not being a rule. I just, as I say, thoroughly respect the people that do, but I don't have any disrespect, so to speak, for the people that don't, because it is part of the game, but it's not a way I'd like to win, and I think I have already waited for people. Oh, Kino ducking out of the tube. I've not seen that before, catching the stop strips so well. And Rhandoss has swung back into the lead. That makes up for the brick, I guess. That's now not going to be an issue. That's now out of our minds. Rhandoss feathering the throttle round the corner nicely, making sure there's no mistake. I've never seen that before, just cutting it a little bit too fine. Rhandoss this time plays it nice and safe over the jump, and Kino maybe having to take that risk. See Kino come cleanly over the jump. We'll stick with Rhandoss for now. I believe that was a missed brake boost. He did hear the light squeal, maybe signifying that he didn't lose as much time from it. And yeah, Alex, that is something we are really looking into trying to make happen if possible. At least get them to look at it. And hopefully, if they can't fix it on PlayStation 4, fix it so we can have a better, more enjoyable, competitive scene on PlayStation 5. Nice and tidy round the corner, heavy feathering of the throttle to make sure he makes it clean. After the exit again, he will swap Kino and see how the land lies as we do Kino into the tube as well. Behind Rhandoss, Kino showing up as entering first. We see Rhandoss making it through nice and clean. Swings the camera back trying to get a little look. Kino is out of the tube. Looks like he's landing on the track nice and safe. No issues with that, nice and clean. And off playing exceptionally cautiously around the corners in the main. Like at the moment, what we're really asking everybody to do, if they know how to, make their own support ticket, make a little video of their bricks through Share Factory or whatever other means, if you're on PC or whatever, and make a support ticket, and we'll open as many of them up as possible in the coming weeks and months. But if not, send the clips across to myself or Esco and we'll open up a support ticket in your name. Right, my name's Starstrider-Fox, it's the same as my YouTube name, just minus the space between the Strider and the dash before the Fox. Nice approach into the tube by Kino, but Rhandoss with a strong lead is already exited the tube, has already exited the tube and heading up through the final corners. Again, maybe the rain did affect the speed, but Rhandoss maybe hitting the barrier has allowed Kino the chance to potentially steal this. Clean cut from either, could see this, nice, but Kino's was going very, very thin. It looked like it was going to be perfect, but the car just not getting enough air to clear the platform. Very unlucky. It was very, very tight there towards the end. And hello, my man, Mobbin. I hope you're very well. Kino, my man, I really feel for you there. It looked like it was going to be an exceptionally clean cut and would have given you really, really good chance. That does take it to 8-3. Rhandoss needs one more win to confirm the victory. The 2:54.808 from Kino. A very, very good lap time. 2:57.249 below my own. And hello, my man Spam. I hope you're well. And mobbing 90 degrees outside. Crikey, that's excessive. But Rhandoss 8-3 up. At this time, heading in to the 5th race, Kino needs to win the remaining races to level it out and send it to a penalty shootout. Oh, remaining 4, sorry. And Rhandoss with a very strong chance. Confirm his place in the next round of the knockout Champions League. Again, the draw for the next stage will be randomised. I'm not sure yet obviously with that situation about who will be going up against who, but we just know that we will be up for some incredible matches as we have been in this draw. Competitors at this stage are all exceptionally high level, and it's just varying percentages between them, and with some of the drivers it is just down to what tracks they're stronger on, and it being on their day they can beat anyone else. Kino is holding the lead on wall climb. This is one of his own track choices, having 2 left. Nice and clean through the tube from Rhandoss. Kino has held the lead nice and clean. Really good lines from both, nice and safe across the jump. Rhandoss maybe got a little bit extra boost with the curb. It's a good clean line from both. Kino holding the lead. Good clean stop stretch, just hung up a little bit, but no significant time lost, no double stop, so to speak, and clicking through the curves in the corner nicely. Really clean stuff. With the mechanics, a lovely brake boost there from Rhandoss, entering the tube nicely, pulling round across the roof onto the right wall and onto the floor of the tube. Really crisp, clean line, just slight disconnect, 2 wheels, left 2 wheels coming off the tube, up off the tube, get a brake boost down this final straight, allows him to pick the speed back up nicely. See Rhandoss with the custom tyres again. You see some racers using them, others don't. But I do believe there's a slight difference between the 2 styles. Does change tread. That does seem to be something that impacts performance of the tyre. Kino is holding his lead heavily off the barrier. We are going to swap to Rhandoss. Kino, sorry. First laps were 2:16.454 to 17.681, meaning Kino did maybe already have the 1.2 second lead over Rhandoss. Kino knows he's got all the work cut out for him. He needs to take all the races to have a chance of confirming his place. In the next round, and I does have a slight comfort blanket of knowing he can push a little hard on a couple of tracks, maybe trying to get really nice clean times to show off his maximum potential nicely. So we'll give him a little chance to do that. We're going to hide the hood for a while and just get in the action. Don't believe Kino went before the double clutch down the hill, not wanting to lose the engine revs and not needing to, already underneath my own time on the first lap. Really nice stuff, clean across the curb, putting it down straight to the final time just before the booster. Brilliant, nice clean line, putting that line at the bottom of the tube, nice and sweet. Really clean exit as well, no chance of the car sucking up on landing with all 4 wheels kicking down nice and clean. Car showing a slight grip on the lag, but the car, Kino, not actually experiencing it for himself. Nice and crisp across the curb again. Let's see what this time is. 2:12.764. That will see Kino extending his lead slightly, I'm guessing, by... we've not seen any improvement there from Rhandoss as he's come across the line as well. Nice and clean, past the barrier, no need to aggressively swing to the right, chasing the aggressive curve. Kino playing it nice and safe. with a lot of speed. Don't get me wrong, when I say nice and safe from these guys, it does still carry a hell of a lot of speed. Look at this line, nice and crisp. Pulls himself into line for this next part, pulls down sharp into the mid part of the tube. Again, nice and sharp, lining himself up for the final loop around, pulls up the side a little bit onto the track nicely, no chance of the car misbehaving before the corner. Really nice lines from Kino, shown to us really crisply before our very eyes. What we do like to see, we're going to see Kino going through the ultimate tube. Let me just have a little clear of my throat with a little bit of coffee or Monster energy drink. We're going to very cleanly to the stop strips, breaking right through to the other side. Lead, he did get a double clutch on the landing as well, and the engine note is really synced, clipping the curb to maintain it nicely, dipping ever so slightly through that final portion, but getting it back up to speed nice and quick during the exit of it. Really, really nice engine note we're hearing up the wall, carrying the speed really nice, clipping back up to full speed nicely on the downward slope of the tube, really cranking the pace up, really clean, coming down nice and clean again, just pulling the car almost level, just letting the left side tyres touch down first. Let's have a good crisp lap there from Kino. We are going to pull back to Rhandoss and let Kino the opportunity to see where the opponent is at, making sure he does not accidentally DNF. Rhandoss is also coming around the final corner. Kino has been able to finish 2:12.705. That does take it to 8-5 to Rhandoss. 3 races remain. Kino does and will have all the work to do. Rhandoss in the knowledge that he does need 1 race win, and he has 2 of his own races to do it on. Trench 2 is Kino's final track. We've seen Pier Race, Gauntlet and Wall Climb, and that nasty tube entrance on the final tube on the second lap did make it impossible for Kino to catch back up. I say impossible, it did look like he was maybe going to be able to do it after the barrier crash from Rhandoss. But the car didn't quite clear the platform. We do see Rhandoss, one of his last 2 is liftoff. We have seen Jack recently claim this record with the Emirates. Fantastic record by both, slightly better in Kino's favour, only just over 500 wins to go to 14,000. And Hassan, my man, I hope you're doing very well. I believe we will get about an hour's break between this match and Jack v Spartacus, unless you guys choose to start a bit before, but I'll give you a bit of prior warning should that happen in the chat. But that will be around 11 PM UK time. Kino chasing the curb aggressively on the left side. We are going to switch to Rhandoss speed if you can catch a little bit of that curb boosting onto the closing track. Rhandoss shortening the air time more to the Kino, and that will allow him a little bit more acceleration down the hill. But Kino, good and aggressive catch, must have caught the brake boost at the top. Able to hold the lead nice and clean, but Rhandoss shortening the gap with a nice clean line, closing in aggressively. And has pulled into the lead. Chasing the curves on the right side of the track. And again, pulling across them nice and aggressive, just drifting 2 wheels across. It's a good clean line. You know, slightly later on the brakes, but a bit of a heavy barrier smash, maybe costing him any more significant time gain. Taking a good aggressive line, lining up for the skip, nice and clean. It looks like Kino has got it to a brick from Rhandoss, the weight up from Kino. They do have that agreement between the two. The honk of the horn from Rhandoss signifies Kino get back on the move. Rhandoss happy to lose the lead. Just glad that the race is not over because of that. Still now within a chance of making up for the lost time. Kino touching the ground slightly before, with him having the slight lead. Good aggression across the curbs. Did see Kino with good entry speed into the tube, seeing him pull away ever so lightly through that initial line. Rhandoss though matches and overtakes in speed, closing the gap up now nicely. Good aggressive line across the roof of the tube, shortens the gap significantly. Kino though, better line through this curved portion of the track, held pace, but Rhandoss pulled away through that final section. But Kino back out of nowhere, and like a bat out of hell, this fight is on. Rhandoss with the tighter line through the corner, making it really tight between the two. Great boosting, I believe, from Rhandoss, but I think he did miss the second one, but higher pace that he managed from the first has allowed him to sustain and hold the lead. After retaking it, Rhandoss bricking a little bit as he missed the little black ramp. Kino has just pulled level. Nice aggression across the curves from both. Rhandoss did clip both wheels across on that final clip, and that has allowed him to just pull away. Rhandoss going to the left side of the ramp, Kino to the right. Kino, seeing that the race is over, does allow his car to come to a stop and drift across the line. He may have lagged out, actually. I'm not sure. He left the spectating a bit strangely there. That does make it 9-5. I'm not sure if we did see Kino lag out. We'll catch up in a second with that. But I am still with Rhandoss, and we will be able to hold the lobby for Kino should he want to continue. The score I sent just went 9-5 to Rhandoss, meaning he has confirmed his place. Just going to see with Kino whether he lagged and he wants back in to finish the playlist. But we can hold the lobby, get Kino an invite back and see what happens. We do have 2 races left. Now slightly out of reach for Kino. Let the guys message between the two, maybe get Kino invited from Rhandoss while we hold the lobby. Yeah, there we go. Kino did lag. Rhandoss can invite Kino back, or Kino should hopefully be able to join on the previous invite. If not, Otherwise we can do a quick restart, should that be necessary, if friends list is acting up. It just made Kino just needing to reconnect before Rhandoss can invite. Give that a minute or two, figure out what we're doing here, then we can go from there. Sorry, I will pop back into. I have sent them a party invite already, so they are able to join the party if their friends list is bugged. Yep, the score. Nice, Asan. Just want a playlist. Lovely to hear. And yeah, the score had just gone 9-5 in Rhandoss's favour. So that does confirm Rhandoss through. He joins Esco. Yeah, now, just being discussed between the guys. It is provisionally 9-5 to Rhandoss. And I am back to you guys. Now, just letting them discuss it between themselves. I'm here with Rhandoss still, so no issue with that. Please do feel free to ask any questions in the chat while we're here. I try to answer them as well as possible. Kino and Rhandoss just sorting out. Kino did lag. We did see the car barely drifting across the line towards the end, depending on the lag point. But I was spectating Kino at the time, and it is completely down to them. turn. Sorry guys, again just messaging the guys so they know I'm good to do whatever they want to. I believe we may be seeing a replay of liftoff with the lag from Kino through the loop. Hey Luke, my man, I hope you're doing good yourself, you knobhead. Yeah, I'm doing very well, my man, thanks for asking. And anybody a little unsure is a little bit of banter. It's Luke's way of welcoming himself into the parties. So it's, you know, a bit of friendly banter between the two of us. You know, should have the invite. I believe he lagged out. OGI, he lagged out through the loop and then the speed carried him through, I believe, is what happened. Kino did feel he was carrying speed to potentially challenge for the front, so they are going to replay liftoff, I believe. Rhandoss has asked the question. I think Kino's just having a couple of internet problems, but I have still got an hour, so I've got more than enough time to fit in 3 races. It's just giving us a little breather, little settling in period. Kino at the moment, as I said, just having a couple of issues, unable to get online. But like I say, no real rush from myself. I'm quite flexible. I do have Jack v Spartacus in 1 hour, 7 minutes. But that should give us plenty of time to try and clear this up. And if not, I can squeeze 3 tracks in at some point during the week, get this all cleared up. Maybe tomorrow. Oh, I'm sure Jack and Spartacus wouldn't mind waiting if it was towards that half of the hour. But there's no real rush from me. Just keep popping back every now and then if you like to keep your eye on stuff. Kino saying to decide what seems right to him. Car did look as though guys were saying, both saying that they did see it. Both seeing the car slightly accelerate after the loop. Sweet. So that is I believe, going to take it back to 8-3. We will be replaying 8-4, sorry. We'll be replaying Liftoff, and there will be 3 tracks left. 8-5, my god, my head is all over the place. It's 8-5 at the way it stands. Just waiting to back. I have just messaged again, and I'll be able to let you know once it's all back up and running in one of the chats. If that is what we decide to do, I'm not going to be ending the stream, but just a little couple of minute break on top of this from where we're at. There we go, Rhandoss is quitting the session. I will set up a new session once I'm on the ground. We will be doing Trench 2 and City Air first. If they win both, then Liftoff will be done over. Right, I believe I'm in my invite session. Friends, scroll. There's my man Rhandoss. Send that invite out. Where's my man Kino? We've scrolled past him on the list. There he is. Send game invite to both once they are in. So that does provisionally take it to 8-5. The Kino does win both. We will be doing Liftoff again. Should Rhandoss take the wins, then they won't need to do Liftoff again necessarily, but they may just see out the little playlist. That is Rhandoss in session. Just give it a moment for it to join, and we'll have a look to see where he drops in, see if it's on the street. There we go, Rhandoss is on the street. Let's spectate Rhandoss. And we will be all good to go again. Thank you so much for the patience and the patience between the drivers, the understanding shown by Rhandoss too. I am on Rhandoss. Right, let them know that I'm good to go, so they are good to go when they're ready. Can quickly message the Stunt Racing chat saying we're off and running again. So we have Trench 2 followed by City Air. Then if Kino has won both, we will have the replay on. Liftoff. And I'm heading back to YouTube now. Thank you again for the patience. I do see. Dylan, what's my favourite track? My favourite track at the moment is Vespucci, Dylan. time I am the closest. I'm still 6 seconds off the world record pace, but I'm at a 2:10 myself. It's not too far off, and it does get me a couple of wins here and there when the guys aren't on their tippy-top form. Move bitch license plate on the back of Rhandoss's car. I like it. On his Kino lagged out of Rhandoss, out of liftoff, we believe. That's what he told us, and he did say that his connection was bad. We have seen him lagging a couple of times throughout the playlist, so we are going to take him for his word as he takes the lead. And the replay option is, and that may do some serious damage to that hope that he is continuing, maybe showing that it wasn't a rage quit. But Kino does need to win both of the tracks to get the replay on liftoff. And I think that was a good, fair way to do it. So that is the last track out of the 3. And with that blow up, Kino may find it difficult to achieve it. But at the same time, no further disconnect issues may be showing that it was just a lag out rather than any rage. So let's move that from our mind and fully trust it as he said. He's given me no reason to disbelieve him so far in time I've known him. I do take people a little bit at the way they show themselves to me. Nice and clean across the curves, a little bit wobbly through the narrow passage. But Rhandoss is holding the lead. He's going to have to pull sharp to the right to get through the barrier. Oh, stop sign. Gets it nice and clean, just using dominated power nicely. Heavy on the brake, good application of the power through the corner. No chance of the back end kicking out at all from Rhandoss. We are going to have a look at the lap times in a little second. Do that now. 58.759 from Rhandoss. Higher time from Kino, but with that early mistake on this tube, we should see good improvement. 58.935. Rhandoss barely improving and increasing the lead on the second lap, but increasing it he does. Increase it he does. By the point 2, looks like Kino's made it through that section nice and smooth, coming through the pass, starting to level up with Rhandoss, and Rhandoss making a big mistake. And that may give Kino a chance, just clipping in to the circular prop as we swap across. Rhandoss has respawned and back up to some form of pace, but Kino has him in sight. And it's going to need a clean corner from Rhandoss to hold the lead. Kino swings in nicely, shortening the gap up slightly through the braking point. But Rhandoss is going to be able to hold the lead. That does take it to 9.5. That does mean that it is out of reach for Kino. I believe it does make it 10.5 in actuality, with the opportunity for liftoff being out now. Doesn't make a significant difference. That does confirm Rhandoss's place. The 58.201 does take the best lap, only just over a second behind, with the 2 mistakes between the 2 of them. But then getting their speeds up very nicely. Rhandoss's mistake nearly cost him confirmation of the playlist. But I do believe that does see us heading into City Air. We may see liftoff again as well, but it is all now a little bit more for competitive fun. Rhandoss is through to the knockout stage, the second knockout stage, with a strong win. And again, not underselling Kino, please do not misunderstand me. Kino is one of the strongest racers we have in the community. is and has claimed a lot of wins in his time. Good start from Kino, does allow him to take the lead. The arc going to flip to Rhandoss, get a good view of both of the cars through this section of the track. Kino lightly extending the lead. Nice sharp corner from Rhandoss to start to narrow it down. Good brake boosting as well. Clip of the curb. Landing later than Kino on the ramp, shortening the gap through the air. Kino pulls down, really aggressive, really close, tight as a tiger to the roof. Rhandoss slightly higher in the air, good approach into the tube from Kino. Really good line, kind of wish I've seen that from his perspective, just so I can try and replicate it in my own time, and when I'm racing against you guys myself, it looks nice and clean, nice and crisp, nice and low. Carries the momentum nicely. But Rhandoss shortened the gap again and is now on pace again with Kino. Clipping the curbs really nicely, matching it note for note. Goes in for the wall ride, nice, pulls out. Bounces off the barrier, but I believe he has caught all the checkpoints and is on his way after having to reverse a little bit just to get himself back onto track. Very unlucky from Rhandoss, nearly got that nice and clean, just pulled out ever so slightly too early. Big stop on the stop strips by Kino, allowing the damage to be shortened, and a couple more like that, and maybe a little rough off a barrier here or there could allow Rhandoss back in. Again, you can see the competitive edge between the two, not quite gone, but Rhandoss may be able to take a little bit more risk here and there. You see Kino just kissing the top of the roof with 3 wheels, 2 front, back, left, and just bouncing, kissing off the roof. Nice and tight round the corner, good application of the power at the 3/4 point, making sure no chance colliding with the barrier and spinning off as I've done multiple times back, and just catches that last bit of the barrier around the corner. Now spun out into the city. Kino with the nice clean lines, no chance of colliding with the building, clipping the curbs, really nice and aggressive. Sends his jump out nicely. Back wheels touching down, slight spark from the back end, pulls down nicely at that 1/4 point, clears the jump, really nice, heading straight into the tube, pulls slightly to the right, lines it up nice and clean on to the incline of the tube, into the left side, very nice on the transition, and it's a good clean lap so far from Kino. No errors, a bit heavy off the barrier, but the butt of the car handled really clean. Nice across the curbs just before stop strips, maybe shortening the time ever so slightly, but he stopped by the aggressive across the curbs, maybe feeling he got a little bit too close to the edge, pulled sharply back to the right, but clipped a nice extra couple to get himself back up to the very high engine revs you'd like to see. And with Kino again playing out the rest of the playlist, I really don't think it was a rage quit from Kino. I do believe it was a lag out. With him now playing out this track, and I do expect the guys really to play out the final track. After this cut, let's pull up the map, see where Rhandoss is, because we may get the chance to see both. He is now just straightening up before the stop strips, so we may, if it doesn't take too long to load between the two, we're going to watch Kino. Lines it up nice and clean, and we're instantly going to swifty swap over to Rhandoss. See if we see the same from him, lining it up, we time that nicely, clearing the top of the building with perfection. Did hear an ever so slight clip of the back tyres, I believe, across the roof to 13.371 from Kino on the second lap to 2. Loading. Was there no... I thought there would be an improvement there. Maybe there was a mistake earlier in the lap from Rhandoss. We'll stick with Rhandoss through this tube exit and then swap back maybe to Kino. But as it is for fun, I don't think it matters so much. We caught a nice, crisp, clean lap there from Kino with 2:13. We can now have the opportunity to see the same from Rhandoss. Wonderful flare, going for a double barrel roll. Lovely stuff, Rhandoss. Thank you very much. A nice tip-tap horn, if please, if you can hear us. Just celebrating and going for a bit of a victory drive at this point. Nice corner though. Still not slacking on the cut or anything like that, really not letting it go to his head too much. It's just maybe making an extra mistake with going for more aggressive lines. We are maybe going to see Rhandoss go for the wall ride again. We do see Kino has just pulled on through nice and clean into the tube. Rhandoss flips in, collects the checkpoint, nice and tight. Really clean, Rhandoss, really clean, and Rhandoss is going to be on for us. Nice top lap time here, no mistakes, nice low transition, nice and flat across the track, not lifting up too much more after clearing the edge. Nice brake boosting to getting through the stop strips, really nice and fast. Kino just heading through the turn in the tube, lining up momentarily in for the roof skip. Rhandoss through the tube at the midpoint, pulling sharply across the left at the bottom of the hill. Lines up it. Oh my god, I feel for you hard. Rhandoss had swung into the lead. Kino had also made a mistake on the ramp skip, roof skip. But that cost him a good lap time, and my man, I feel for you hard. Oh. Maybe just not catching quite enough boost on the final part of the tube to pull it off. Very unlucky. And 2:13.371 does stay the best lap. I'm guessing that there was maybe a second missed wall ride on the second lap from Rhandoss, which is why we didn't see any significant improvements. And with the roof skip checkpoint taking a little bit longer to respawn you, once you miss it, it did cost Rhandoss a chance to retake the lead. With Kino having messed it up as well. Now that does take it properly to 11.5. We do have liftoff for last time, but this does not count anymore. Rhandoss has taken the win. Guess we can count this again, so maybe we'll class it as 10.5. It's all over. Rhandoss has won. 10.6, sorry. God, my head, sorry, it's 9.6, but it is 10.6 in actuality, but with it all being wrapped up. We can play it with this, I'm sure. Rhandoss won't mind. Kino with good start, long, straight, pulls up nicely. Heavy on the brakes by Kino, getting that absolutely perfect, kissing down just as the track piece met the car. Wonderful stuff there from Kino, extending his lead lightly through the corner, pulling away, but Rhandoss about to close up, does go in for the ramp skip, got it nice and clean and carrying a lot of speed over the jump, shortens the gap hugely and swings into the lead. Rhandoss carries his speed nicely into the entry of the corner, swings wide into the barrier, catches or tries for the brake boost down the straight, going for another as well, maybe not getting the full potential of it, but he is pulling away ever so lightly from Kino. We are going to flick back to Kino catching both of the loop skips here nicely. Rhandoss being just ahead, Kino getting hit boost, shortening the gap up a little bit through the gap. Ooh, I think it was more of a lag brick from Kino's car there. He did maintain speed nicely. Rhandoss clipping the lights really clean. Letting off the throttle early. Kino makes it nice and tight again, close to the edge. Not a lot of track between him and the back of his car. There's wiggle room. Again, a little lag spike from Kino, again showing that his internet maybe not at its most stable right now, but pushing on through. An aggressive line through the tube, trying to maximise on the speed for the exit. Now Rhandoss has held the lead and maybe increased it slightly since the jump skip in the tubes. Kino very, very close to the gap in the barrier, made my heart skip a beat. But the gap to Rhandoss has remained. Rhandoss has maintained and held the lead. Pulls across the boost nicely, and that lead is going to see Rhandoss with the win. That does take it to, as I say, 10-6. Rhandoss's favour. Rhandoss is through to the next stage of the knockout round. He has seen off a very, very tough opponent in Kino. Again, this in no way diminishes Kino. He has taken 6 out of 16 races. Rhandoss, just in a good vein of form, has been able to take a strong victory through. I am going to send a message to the guys. As I say, that is Rhandoss with a fully confirmed 10-6 victory over Kino across 16 tracks. And I am just going to message the guys offering my GGs to the guys. So he just feels the nerves a bit more in a 1v1, but Kino, I'm sure at some point we are going to catch you in a rich vein of form. We have seen Rhandoss swing a little bit from feeling a little bit like he'd underperformed, and now we've seen him pull out a very strong performance. And as you get used to the commentary and all that malarkey, I'm sure you will handle the pressure better. We all know you're exceptionally fast, lad. There's no questions about that. Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. There we go. Exactly, and that is what I was just saying, Rhandoss. The stream is like, and again, it wasn't me underselling you or trying to put anybody off you, but just suffering a little bit more with the nerves last time. But Kino, mate, we did see you pull off a very good victory against Luke in the last one. And Rhandoss saying that he knows that Kino is a lot faster than that, and maybe it just wasn't best time for them to go up against each other. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I will be back in just under 40 minutes time with Jack, that is Marine Jack 01 v Spartacus. So goodbye for now.